Hi, I'm Joe Walensky, and I'm the program manager for Seattle's annual user experience conference called ConveyUX. That's coming up February 27, 28, and March 1. And I'm talking with some more of the speakers who will be giving their information at the conference. And today I'm pleased to be talking with David Holmberg and also Christian Silk. And so each of them can talk a little bit about their background and the types of things that we're doing now, and then we'll get into talking about their session a little bit. So let's see, why don't I just first hand it off and say hello to David Holmberg. Hello, David.
All right. Hello, Joe. Thanks for having us. So I'm a senior UX designer at Avo, which is a legal company. We help make the legal space easier for people to solve their legal issues. I've come to UX via some different paths. I was a content strategist for a while, and then a copywriter, and then originally was in academia where I got a PhD in English, and at that point was studying voyeurism in literature. And so I got really interested in sort of looking into the world and seeing what people were doing, which has a pretty nice parallel into the UX space for sure. At Avo, my role as a UX designer, I partner a lot with developers and other UX designers, and we work on cross-functional teams to solve different legal issues. And our big emphasis right now is trying to figure out how to better connect people to lawyers, and it's a pretty exciting space for us because it's still one that hasn't been solved yet by technology. So there's a lot of opportunities to figure out how to use technology to actually make a several thousand-year-old industry make sense for the 21st century.
All right, well, thank you, David. And now let's check in with Christian. Hi, Christian. Why don't you give us a little bit of information about your background and what you're up to these days?
Sure thing. Thanks, Joe. I am a UX designer with Amazon right now, but I actually spent a couple years before this working with Dave at Avo. So he and I were trying to solve some of those similar problems together there. My background is definitely a little different than Dave's. I came from a background doing kind of traditional graphic and web design for a long time, but then kind of realized there were some limitations to that and got pretty excited as UX really became a discipline in and of itself, in particular just in the more of that problem-solving space versus just trying to make things look good to sell something. So I'm really excited to be working in this field. Amazon, you guys all know of it. It's got a slew of interesting changes, in particular just because of the size of the company. The team I work on is focused on giving support to sellers. So if you're kind of a third-party seller on the Amazon platform, I'm the person that works on the support experience if you need help. So some really interesting problems to solve there, just around getting people the right help, when to give them help, how to give them help. So it's been really exciting and just kind of an exciting place to work in. Obviously, there's a lot of interesting things going on around the company.
Well, it's great to have both of you doing this collaborative presentation together. And so let's talk a little bit about your topic. The title that you have is Design Sprints in the Wild. So tell me a little bit about what people can expect from that, and maybe we'll just start with David.
Yeah, so at Avo, we had a lot of really big UX challenges that we were facing, and we're trying to figure out, how do we tackle these major initiatives, and how do we, make some fast progress as well along those lines. And so we had encountered the Google Ventures Design Sprints framework in our readings, and decided, why don't we give this a try and see if this is a way that we can actually get some quick learnings and make some really fast progress in the UX space, and make some rapid accelerate some projects more quickly. And so we got a chance to try this out at Avo, and we ran quite a few of these design sprints over the space of a couple years, and had a lot of learnings from that. I think were pretty interesting because, taking a framework that's sort of idealistic around like how do you solve these problems, and it's all very tidy in the book, and then putting it into the wild and seeing, what does that actually look like in practice, and what are the different challenges that come up within that. And that's one of the main things that we want to be talking about in our presentation.
All right. Well, thanks for that, David. And then Christian, you have anything to add? Are there any parts from your perspective that you think we might be interested in as a preview?
Yeah, I think just kind of piggybacking on what Dave said, our goal really is to give as much detail and information about kind of what worked and what didn't work, and what our perspective is on the framework. I think a lot of times you come to conferences and people are pretty idealistic about, theory, and we want to get really into the weeds and really talk about what we think was good and bad about the framework. And then also, kind of growing off of that, like in particular, I'm spending time at Amazon now. I think I can bring some insights, just kind of further talking about like the principles of the design sprint and how those kind of can be morphed and changed to fit into kind of different teams and different companies. So we want to kind of give some thoughts to people that hopefully they can really walk away and try something, whether it's a full design sprint or some kind of variation of a design sprint in the problems they're trying to solve.
Well, I think it's going to be a great session, and so thanks for taking the time to talk with me today, David and Christian. We'll see you at the conference in just about a couple of months.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.